Chapter 6, Rule number 5, Build a Buzz-Winning Team. You've probably been waiting for me to reveal the secret to winning reviews, so you can close this book and apply what you've learned. To become remarkable, you need to make being exceptional an operational focus and build your remarkable team, one person at a time. This is how some of the most successful companies of the past decade got where they are right now. You've been introduced to some of them in this book. Zappos, Apple, Nordstrom, Google. Your company? Whether your company belongs on this list will depend on how you apply the final rule of becoming remarkable, building a great team and buzz-winning company culture. Becoming remarkable isn't just about earning and posting great reviews. It starts with being remarkable. As service companies all over the country start realizing the power of online reviews, many will end up in a which came first, the goose or the golden egg dilemma. They'll start getting aggressive about the golden eggs, the reviews, instead of focusing on providing remarkable customer experiences. But only those who prioritize the latter will strike gold. What is a buzz-winning culture? I realize the word culture is thrown around a lot these days. Some of us think culture is something you get from traveling to a foreign country or spending your weekends at tea parties and sushi bars listening to chamber music. I thought I'd simplify it by using a definition I found in the Merriam-Webster dictionary: culture. The set of shared attitudes, values, goals, and practices that characterize an institution or organization. If I asked you what attitudes, values, goals, and practices characterize your organization, what would you say? Better yet, if I asked your employees, what would they say? How about if I asked your customers? That's the real test, isn't it? It's easy to say you're cultivating an extraordinary customer-focused culture and then reprint it on a poster with your company logo and put it just above the coffee maker in your break room. But that's just marketing, and it won't persuade your employees any more than it will persuade your customers. If you want to become remarkable, you have to start by facing the hard facts about what changes need to be made to your company's operational systems and how you manage what is measurable. You've probably worked for at least one company that insisted that they valued a remarkable customer experience, but didn't support that claim in their training, team meetings, rewards, incentives, or communications. It was just a theory, a story the company leaders told each other while sitting around in corporate meetings. These companies remain stuck, not because they can't fix their company culture, but because they've convinced themselves that their culture doesn't need to be re-examined. This is exactly where we don't want to be. That's why our final rule will focus on the 5 key elements of building a remarkable company culture: hiring remarkable people, training and communication, accountability, recognition power, leadership. Get these elements right, and I promise you, everything in this book will take care of itself. The reviews, the Google rankings, the sales, the growth, the conquering of your competition, the Olympic caliber golden egg laying goose. All of it. Number 1, hiring remarkable people. Who has the golden goose DNA? Customer service is one of those things you either have in your DNA or you don't. I'm not saying customer service can't be taught. Heck, I've seen some borderline introverts transformed into full-blown customer service powerhouses with the right training. But it's important to know how to hire people who have the potential for remarkability in their blood. It's not for everyone. There are people who just don't like people, don't like serving others, and who would rather sit behind a computer, crunch numbers, and judge everyone else who is different from them. Occasionally, some of these people try to venture into the world of customer service. Sometimes they put on a very good show and get you to hire them. Once you start working with them, you get the feeling you're trying to teach a horse how to climb a tree. Hiring remarkable team members is just as much about spotting the imposters as it is about spotting the true talents. One of our remarkability trainers at Review Buzz suggests that you extend the hiring process into the training period by shadowing your new hires. Within 1 week, you'll know whether someone has the potential to be remarkable. It will be obvious not just in what they do in response to customer requests and customer complaints. It will also be obvious in how they do it. Customers aren't fools. They can tell when you're just doing something because it's your job, or when you truly have a commitment to customer satisfaction in your blood. This isn't always obvious during the interview process, but give the person a week or two in a customer service position, and you'll know whether you've got a winner or a loser. Tony Hsieh of Zappos has a practice of hiring people directly into customer service positions from the very beginning. It didn't matter if they were the CFO, COO, or the guy who emptied out the trash bin on the 7th floor. If they were employed by Tony Hsieh, they had a 2-week tour of the world of the Zappos customer service experience. He did this to see if he wanted them to work for his company long-term. After the first week of training and continuing through the 4-week process, Zappos offered the new hires $2,000 to quit the company. If they said yes and took the check, Tony Hsieh just paid $2,000 to discover he didn't want that person working for his company. It might seem odd that he would spend $2,000 to get rid of someone who he'd just spent 2 weeks training. Tony did this because he wanted people working for him who saw the value in being a customer service superstar at a place like Zappos. If they were willing to give up a guaranteed $2,000 in order to stay at the company, he knew he had someone who got it. Ever heard of the saying, "You can't fly like an eagle if you're surrounded by turkeys"? Here's my version. You can't have a goose that lays golden eggs if you're surrounding him with rotten eggs. If you want your business to become remarkable, make it a #1 priority to ask yourself this question when it comes to hiring and training new team members. Does this person have the golden goose DNA? Hiring tip. When hiring and training new team members, ask yourself, does this person have the golden goose DNA? If you have your doubts, don't risk it. There are too many people out of work these days for you to settle for the first warm body that comes along. Hold out for someone who has the golden goose DNA. It will be worth it. Earlier in this book, I referenced Jim Collins, author of Good to Great. Jim's research Wandsworth is revisiting again. He found that of the fastest-growing businesses in the United States, the best-performing companies were those that focused on having the right people on the bus. This was their #1 priority, even before growing the business. Who's in charge of the buzz? Do you have a Chief Buzz Officer, CBO, in your organization? Do you have someone in charge of being proactive about creating and maintaining a buzzworthy company image online? Here's why the position is so important. The first thing on the CBO's agenda is checking out the company's online reputation. What do potential customers see when they look up your company's name or local companies in your industry? How can your company generate more positive reviews? Are reviews properly representing your company's true reputation online? Your CBO needs to focus on your company reviews as an external element of your reputation. And they also need to focus on the internal personnel representing and generating that reputation. Your team needs to understand that every service call is a potential good or bad review. Therefore, being great is no longer a bonus. It's a company non-negotiable. Lastly, the CBO should work within the company to share positive public reviews with the remarkable teams. That might mean working with your HR department or an employment manager. Not only do potential new customers need to be assured that you are a top-rated business, but the same goes for quality employee prospects. Establishing your company as an employer of choice means you have the benefit of choosing from the best potential candidates. Besides, who doesn't like to be appreciated? If management recognizes 5-star customer service achievements, then the rest of the team will naturally begin competing. It must become part of your operational initiatives to incorporate a review and feedback segment into weekly meetings. Implement a reward system for tracking and delivering customer service commissions and for making sure your top service stars get the recognition they need and deserve. Your CBO and the appropriate managers should continuously coach and measure teams to ensure everyone is blowing away their customers with an extraordinary experience. Having this kind of team in place will help you create an invaluable customer experience. But most importantly, you need to get the person in the driver's seat obsessed with transforming your company into a remarkable one. Number 2, training and communication, the language of being remarkable. For everything you can now do well, there was a time when you were terrible at it. It's the same thing for winning reviews. The beginning won't be a walk in the park. It will take twisting some employees' arms, pushing them out of their comfort zones, and conducting meetings. It will also require brainstorming sessions about how to track and monitor the performance of your team members and how to reward your best performers. There is a learning curve for the people of your organization to start speaking the language of being remarkable. Some of our customers at ReviewBuzz hit the ground running and get 30 reviews in the first 30 days, while others take more time to get traction. There's one thing you'll need in order to make sure the new culture of remarkability has traction within your organization. You'll need solid and consistent communication and training about the process of winning reviews, not just asking for reviews, but earning them. But don't forget to emphasize that the review is the reward for remarkable service. The focus of your training should always be service first and reviews second. This is a small distinction, but it's a crucial one, especially when it comes to training your employees to build a remarkable, buzzworthy company. If you tell your employees to start asking for reviews, they start doing just that, asking. You can even tell them you'll reward them for getting reviews. You can threaten to fire them for not asking. But if all they do is ask for reviews, they won't get them. They won't follow the ABCs of being remarkable, and because of this, they won't get many, if any, reviews. After a while, the chore of asking will become just one more reason for them to throw darts at your picture in the break room. Not to mention that by solely asking for a review, you'll irritate the customers who didn't receive remarkable service in the first place. If you get all the steps in this process right, asking for a review should be just as easy as asking the customer to write you a check for your services. However, it has to be a step-by-step process, and that's why training plays a critical role in creating a remarkable company culture. Rev up your reps with review rallies. The best training mixes rewards and recognition, one end with the training itself. Most companies call these training meetings sales rallies. I recommend that companies also have review rallies. At a review rally, you talk about winning reviews instead of making sales. You reward the people who won the most reviews, and you have them share how they did it. By now you know how powerful reviews are when it comes to making sales, so focusing on earning reviews and making sales will just increase sales even more. In fact, because reviews and sales go hand in hand, I suggest you have review training, review rallies, sales training, and sales rallies. The increase in your bottom line, your company growth, the improvement in your company culture, and the increase in employee retention and satisfaction will more than make up for the extra time spent. During the time while I was writing this book, one of our customers, Craig Denton from Anton's Air Conditioning and Heating, told me about a review rally he had at his company. This wasn't your typical company, get together and pat each other on the back meeting. It was a cross between a sales meeting, a family barbecue, and a charismatic church service. Craig set the goal for his team of winning 30 reviews in 60 days. The purpose of the review rally was to celebrate accomplishing that goal. Here are just a few things he did at this review rally. Arranged a catered dinner, had contests and prizes, read customer feedback and reviews aloud to everyone, invited his employees' spouses and family members. When the reviews were read aloud, things got real. People were actually holding back tears, hugging one another, and some of them said they left the rally a different person than when they walked in. It gives me goosebumps just writing about it. Employees were also awarded raffle tickets according to how many reviews they earned. There were contests where people could spin the wheel and win cash prizes. The grand prize was a flat-screen HD TV. Craig was standing by the wheel as the employees were spinning it and cheering, "Break the bank! Break the bank!" Talk about employee engagement. Companies with high levels of employee engagement improved their operating income by 19.2%, while companies with low levels of engagement saw their operating income decline by 32.7% over a 12-month period. Source: Forum, Dec, 2007. How different is that from what a lot of business owners are doing right now? They're making cutbacks and laying off people in fear that the state of the economy will break the bank. That reminds me of a well-known quote by Steve Jobs at the time the recession first started and companies were doing layoffs. A lot of companies have chosen to downsize, and maybe that was the right thing for them. We chose a different path. Our belief was that if we kept putting great products in front of customers, they would continue to open their wallets. Steve Jobs. By now, you should know that Steve Jobs wasn't just talking about selling iPads, iPhones, and laptops. The most valuable products you have to offer at your company are your employee-to-customer interactions. If you break the bank investing in building remarkable employees, your customers will continue to open their wallets too. When was the last time your company held a sales meeting that someone would describe as a positive, life-changing, emotionally beneficial experience? If you want to win 100% of your team members' efforts when it comes to creating a culture of remarkability, start holding review rallies. Power tips, secret training formula, sales training, plus, review training, plus, sales rallies, plus, review rallies. Remarkable company culture. Becoming remarkable is a team effort, and you'll need to get traction within your company by starting with the leaders and the key influencers. This starts with identifying your key players, such as your managers, team leaders, and frontline personnel. Start with your influencers, first your managers, and then your team leaders. Find the most influential frontline personnel and focus most of your energy on getting them bought into the philosophy of winning reviews. The most important person to get 100% buy-in from, both in beliefs and actions, is you. Creating a remarkable customer experience should be a duty, not a choice. To get your key people on board with your new venture to create a remarkable company, you'll need clear expectations. Make it clear exactly what you expect them to do to earn reviews. Examples. Proof of other people and companies who have created success by winning reviews. Accountability. Reviews will be a great way to manage and measure their performance and keep them accountable for improving it. Rewards. People work much better when you give them recognition and incentives. Resources. Make it clear what resources are available to help them succeed. Accountability is a must for building a remarkable organization. Right now, there is untapped potential within your organization. I guarantee it. If you want to find out where it is and just how much potential is available, you need accountability. No matter how self-motivated someone is, they'll always do better when they know that they'll be held to a high standard. In fact, even people who resist accountability at first secretly want it. They want to realize their potential, to be challenged, and to become more. Many of them are just waiting for the right opportunity to make it happen. You can bring them this opportunity, and if you do this in conjunction with the other rules in this chapter, you'll be amazed before you're halfway into it. The funny thing about accountability is that it's normally seen as a negative thing at first, even by the people who come to welcome it later. It's only after people begin to discover the power that accountability has to help them reach their full potential that they embrace it. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. Peter Drucker. For example, at 1-800-ANYTIME, our customer service representatives were not capturing email addresses when they spoke to potential and new customers. It was important to have this information to successfully connect with the customer before and after the service call to demonstrate and improve our remarkable service. Even with thorough training and reminders, our email collection percentage was very low. That's when I created a tracking system that could measure performance and make the staff accountable for their own results. I installed and consistently utilized a scoreboard that was out in the open for everyone to see their success or their opportunities to improve. By keeping score, this one method created immediate, dramatic improvements. The purpose was not to humiliate anyone, but to make it very obvious how well everyone was doing, which led to the inevitable congratulations and personal pride. As the normal course of human behavior would dictate, it also led to a little healthy competition among the staff to push themselves to do better than their previous numbers and better than their colleagues. As the leader of your organization, it's your job to create a culture of discipline and accountability, even if you're met with some initial resistance. Your team members will thank you for it in the long run. They'll begin to do and accomplish things they always suspected they were capable of, but which they never pushed themselves hard enough to achieve. That's a very empowering feeling, and it's one that can only be reached through challenging people to push past their limits. I recently read Charles M. Provence's book, Patton's 1-Minute Messages, Presidio Press, 1995, about General Patton, where he talked about the power of expectations and how it's impossible to become great without them. Here's what he said. When you're put in charge, whether it's of an army, division, battalion, company, platoon, or special detail, act like you're in charge. Make damn sure you're in control at all times and that you know what's going on. 90% of being in command is nothing more than making sure orders are followed and the mission accomplished. Once you've issued an order, get the hell out of the way of the people doing the job, but make sure they know you're in charge, that you expect them to bring the mission to full fruition, and that they are responsible for its completion. General George Patton. This is true in any organization or any discipline. That's why some of the world's greatest athletes still work with coaches. The world's greatest musicians still meet with teachers on a consistent basis, and the best dancers still work with trainers. Heck, even the Olympic champions have coaches. They don't stop training or stop having someone hold them accountable to be their best, because they no longer need it. They can't afford to do that because they've made a personal commitment to be remarkable. It's the same thing with your organization. You and your team members need clear standards, to be reminded of those standards, and to be held accountable to them. Without this, even the most self-motivated person will become relaxed and switch out of fifth gear and back into second or third. But the most important reason you need accountability is to find out where the missing potential exists. This is where customer feedback can really come to your aid, and I'm not just talking about reviews. At Review Buzz, we started out just helping companies get positive reviews posted in the online marketplace. This is more than most companies are doing, but there's a whole other level of commitment to becoming remarkable, which is based not on gathering reviews, but on gathering feedback from customers. Not every customer will write a review, either because the service provider did not earn it, or because the customer simply did not want to write a public recommendation. Reminder, reviews and referrals are a byproduct of a remarkable customer experience. In those two scenarios, it is crucial to survey the customers. The most important question when conducting a survey is this. On a scale of 0 to 10, how likely is it that you would recommend our service to a friend? The customer is asked to answer this question based on a 0-10 scale, 10 being the most likely to recommend, and 0 being a no way would I ever recommend this company. Here's how the results break down. An answer of 0 to 6 is considered a detractor, ranter. This is someone who is likely to say not so nice things about your company. An answer of 7 or 8 is considered a passive. This is someone who isn't likely to say anything about your company, good or bad. An answer of 9 or 10 means they will recommend your company to others. Now take the total amount of promoters, subtract the number of detractors, and you've got something called your Net Promoter Score, NPS. This is a tangible, measurable way to unveil the mystery of why you might be struggling for repeat customers. The NPS is a real and measurable metric used by companies like JetBlue Airways, Four Seasons, Southwest Airlines, Zappos, Under Armour, American Express. Anyone who has managed employees or raised children knows you need incentives to motivate people. Here are just a few of the statistics proving the power of incentives in raising a company's profits. 69% of workers surveyed say that non-monetary forms of recognition provide the best motivation. Source: The Gallup Organization, Marketing Magazine, May 2007. Companies with high levels of employee engagement improved their operating income by 19.2%, while companies with low levels of engagement saw their operating income decline by 32.7% over a 12-month period. Source: Forum, The Economic Case for People Performance Management and Measurement, December 2007. Companies that reward their employees for being innovative increase their revenues by 2.5% and their profit margins by 2%. Source: IBM Global Business Consulting CEO Survey, December 2006. Notice that these statistics don't mention anything about customer reviews, but you'd better believe if you can raise your profits and revenues using employee rewards, you can also create a more remarkable customer service experience and thus raise the number of positive reviews your company has online. You've probably been to at least one place of business where you had a bad customer service experience because the person working behind the counter was pouting about how unhappy they were with their job. Sometimes, the worker is just an unhappy person, but even happy and ambitious employees can be reduced to long-faced, poker-playing dogs if they feel unappreciated by their employer. If you want to keep your team members motivated about creating remarkable experiences for your customers, you need incentives. Of course, a self-motivated person will work without incentives for a while because they take pride in doing good work. That, in conjunction with a steady paycheck, is enough to keep them going for a while. But everyone has their limits, and even the most self-motivated person will burn out in time if they're not earning the right types of incentives. On the other hand, you've probably found that self-motivated people are fairly hard to come by. Even if you get a few of them working for your company, the majority of your team may still be people who require external incentives. Your job as the company leader is to fuel and magnify the drive of your natural self-starters and keep their motivation alive. You must do this in addition to providing the proper external motivation for your other team members. You do this with incentives, and the practice of winning positive customer reviews creates the perfect environment for using incentives to motivate your team. I say this because a positive review itself provides the irresistible incentive of recognition from your customers. Yes, money definitely motivates people, and I do suggest you have contests where team members with the most reviews can win prizes and other perks. To do this, you'll need a method of tracking who earned what review from what customer. A tracking system will serve three purposes: help you easily track and reward your most efficient review earners, help you to discover who is lagging behind in earning reviews. Connecting a team member to each review will give them a rock-solid validation that their efforts are being genuinely recognized and appreciated. ReviewBuzz's review tracking system allows the customer to connect their positive review to the salesperson, customer service agent, or team of individuals who assisted the customer and thus earned the review. Personalized reviews are like a bazooka of strategy when it comes to breaking down your team members' inhibitions about providing remarkable service. Many people work harder to get recognition than they do to earn extra money or prizes. Don't get me wrong, you can't just give people a Coke and a smile and pay them barely enough to make rent, groceries, and their Netflix fee every month. You should still reward your most remarkable review earners using monetary incentives, but never underestimate the power of recognition. It addresses one of the deepest and most powerful human needs, the need for validation and approval. Most importantly, never underestimate the power of surveying your customers' experience when deciding who to reward and recognize for their contribution to creating a remarkable company. If you have representatives who aren't stacking up the reviews, but who are helping you increase your NPS score, reward them for it. The more you do this, the more natural it will be to become remarkable. Here are some raw statistics of how real employees feel about the power of recognition. A survey of over 2,000 workers found that 80% of employees said praise and recognition motivate them to do a better job. Source: Gallup, August 2006. 74% of employees say being recognized by their managers for doing good work is very or extremely important. Source: Nielsen, June 2006. People will leave jobs where they feel unappreciated, even if they're making a lot of money. I know a guy who was working for a large communications company, making over $100K a year, but took a pay cut and left because of the way he was being treated by his team and managers. This might sound crazy to an outsider, not to stick it out just for the money. However, put even the most money-motivated person in that situation long enough, and the drain on their emotional well-being will wear them down like a gourmet chef, being forced to eat a diet of plain oatmeal for a solid year. People are naturally wired to connect with other people and seek recognition and acceptance. It's a survival instinct. So never assume that offering a paycheck alone is enough to incentivize them and convince them to help your company become remarkable. However, if you put someone in a culture where they can earn acceptance and recognition and earn a decent living, they'll become a remarkable and loyal employee. This is the foundation of building a great company culture. It starts with instilling the components of a remarkable culture into the citizens of your organization. Trying to build a remarkable company culture without incentivizing your employees is like trying to build a solid house out of straw. Great companies are built upon great employees, so you need to make sure your company is a breeding ground for creating employees who go above and beyond to deliver exceptional service. You get out of people what you invest in them, and being remarkable is contagious. Create a remarkable experience for your employees, and they'll do the same for your customers. Everybody wins. What about your unmotivated employees? Think you have someone working for you who won't respond to or appreciate incentives? Don't assume, just try them out and see for yourself the true power of the incentive. In the documentary movie, Freakonomics, 2010, one of the economists tells a story about how he helped a little girl become potty trained. Just to give you an idea of what this guy was up against, the little girl's mother had read several books and spent many sleepless nights poring over potty training websites. Nevertheless, her daughter was busy writing her own potty literature all over the house. Yellow Rivers Are Flowing by I.P. Freely. Then, an economist stepped in, claiming that with the right incentive, he could get anyone to do just about anything. He started offering the little girl Skittles TM candies every time she went potty in the right place. That put a dam in the Yellow Rivers and accomplished what the mother wasn't able to accomplish by poring over books on potty training. The little girl had a 100% success rate and even became excited about going to the restroom. It probably took years for her to realize the actual benefit of going potty in the toilet, and she probably developed diabetes in the meantime. But the Skittles TM provided a set of training wheels to keep her motivated until she realized the genuine benefit for herself. It's the same thing with those employees who you assume won't see the value of winning customer reviews. Providing them with incentives will get them to do it for the sake of winning the incentives. After a time, they'll see the positive impact on their relationship with their customers and their managers. They'll start to realize that more positive reviews mean more business and more job security. They'll eventually conclude that working for your company is better than working for the competition because of the remarkable reputation you've worked to build. They'll start to get it, but if they can't see that bigger picture at first, you have to start with where they are right now. You have to start by dangling the carrot of incentives. Do this right, and you won't need to threaten your employees or nag them about getting their act together. In my experience working with hundreds of customers, I've seen some of the best sales reps go from not getting it when it came to winning reviews to becoming some of the best review champs at their company. I specifically remember one salesperson I'll call Mark. Mark wasn't known for his customer satisfaction skills. In fact, I was told he was sometimes rude to customers when things didn't go his way. Mark was approached by his boss and advised he would be terminated if he didn't stop being rude to the customers. It was just not Mark's nature to treat customers well. Then, during one of the company's review rallies, Mark realized that the less talented salespeople were starting to outsell him because they were better at earning reviews. They were winning the sales contests and being entered into drawings for flat-screen TVs, movie tickets, and gift certificates while he was sitting by like a kid banished to time out at a birthday party. That did it. His competitive nature kicked in and he got his butt in gear. Once he realized reviews could help him get more sales, he became one of the top review earners at his company. Within just a few weeks, he was back on top of the game and winning more reviews than anyone else. Finally, Mark realized that recognition had its own rewards, and that creating a remarkable customer service experience was just as much a part of the sales process as closing and overcoming objections. He was motivated by growing his revenue, and if reviews were the way to get there, he would make them work for him. And in turn, he provided better service for the customer. Now that's a chain reaction worth repeating. For Mark, it took using incentives to get him to that point. I encourage you to do the same thing if you want your team members to understand and engage in the philosophy of becoming remarkable. If you keep trying to persuade them with threats, punishments, and long-winded speeches and meetings on the value of being remarkable, you'll probably always have at least a few people who don't get it. Incentives are more than just a tool for motivating your team members. They're also a powerful educational tool. They provide the validation that winning customer reviews has a direct positive benefit. The positive benefits we've been talking about in this book might not be as easily and immediately noticeable to your team members, but incentives are noticeable. If you want to get your company to the promised land of being remarkable, start with the dangling carrot of incentives. Leadership, the obsession with customer service. As a closing invitation, I invite you to awaken an obsession. An obsession with creating a remarkable experience not just for your customers, but for your managers, your team leaders, your frontline personnel, and most importantly, for yourself. From the moment you put down this book, you can be having the time of your life running and growing your company, squashing your competition, and changing what's possible for yourself and the people who work for you. The secret to making this happen, and the most remarkable secret to growing your company, is to get 100% focused on delivering a remarkable customer experience. Once you spread this thought process throughout your organization, you'll build unstoppable momentum that will carry your company up and up and up. It all starts here, so get obsessed. We are in the age of the empowered customer. No longer can customer service take a backseat to marketing, accounting, annual reports, and endless company meetings. Once you start to focus on making a positive customer experience, your top priority, and something your entire company embraces, customers will be excited to share, and your good reputation will spread across review sites, online directories, and social media sites. UGC, social media, SEO, pay-per-click, direct mail, digital word-of-mouth marketing, customer service training, review rallies, you name it. The success of all those strategies will rise and fall on the shoulders of your leadership. Who will you be to your customers and your team members? What kind of example will you set? I want you to picture the CEO of a billion-dollar company sitting, not in a corner office overlooking the city skyline, but in a sea of cubicles amidst his customer service team. Now I want you to picture the CEO of the wealthiest company in the United States, one of the greatest minds of his time, sitting at his laptop responding to customer service emails. The two CEOs I'm talking about are Tony Hsieh of Zappos and the late Steve Jobs of Apple. Tony Hsieh put his office directly in the middle of the sea of cubicles so that he could know exactly what was happening with his frontline personnel. How different would your company run if you made this type of shift in priority? Being remarkable starts with remarkable leadership. Then there's Steve Jobs, who everyone thought grew Apple into the most successful business in the United States simply by creating great technology. I'm sure that had a lot to do with it, but hardly anyone knows or talks about Steve Jobs' obsession with great customer service through his hands-on involvement in co-writing the customer service manuals for the Apple stores, and directly responding to customer emails. There have been many companies that have come out with great technologies over the years, including Apple's biggest competitor, Microsoft. Microsoft isn't really known for its customer service, and as social media has become more and more influential in driving people's buying decisions, Apple has used this to its advantage. As we progress further into the age of digital word-of-mouth marketing, the customer-focused CEO will slowly drive the CEO who sits in a high tower of solitude, counting money all day, into extinction. Clever product innovations won't stand a chance unless the creator of those products knows how to take care of customer relationships. In the age of digital word-of-mouth marketing, great leadership starts with an obsession with customer service. We marketing as a standalone is dead. It won't convince your customers of the value of doing business with you, and it certainly won't convince your managers, team leaders, and team members to make remarkable service a priority. The age of social media demands authenticity and transparency. There is no fake it till you make it when it comes to being remarkable. If you want to make it in the new economy, you have to sincerely put customers first, and if you don't, you'll be last. The word is out. People are talking, and they're out to lift up remarkable people and companies. You can't wait any longer to take action when it comes to remarkability and online reviews. It's here now, and if you don't get started, you will be left in the dust. Google is already preparing you for the power of the review, so you had better pay attention and start integrating the strategies in this book into your organization. But remember, Don't lead with the review. Don't think of the reviews as just one more thing in your marketing bucket. This is not about marketing, it's about being remarkable. Managing measurable results and integrating transparent reward systems will earn you not only 5-star employees, but also 5-star reviews. Let's face it, when your customer's experience is buzzworthy, all other areas of your organization benefit. It's up to you to lead your company in the right direction, starting right now. Chapter 6. Summary. If you put someone in a culture where they can earn acceptance and recognition and earn a decent living, they'll become a remarkable and loyal employee. This is the foundation of building a remarkable company culture. You'll need solid and consistent communication and training about the process of winning reviews. Not just asking for reviews, but winning reviews. If you get all the steps in this process right, asking for a review should be just as easy as asking the customer to write you a check for your services. However, it has to be a step-by-step process, and that's why training plays a big role in creating a remarkable company culture. Find the most influential frontline personnel and focus most of your energy on getting their buy-in to the philosophy of winning reviews. When there's more accountability to provide great service and a new level of confidence that the great service will be rewarded and recognized, you will get 100% of someone's effort. Your business must assign someone who can monitor daily and weekly activity about review generation and whose job it is to motivate the team to stay active in becoming and remaining buzzworthy through remarkable customer service and a commitment to soliciting positive reviews. Take action today. Go out and make your company remarkable. Chapter 6. Recommended reading. Freakonomics. A rogue economist explores the hidden side of everything. Stephen D. Levitt and Stephen J. Dubner. William Morrow paperback 2009. The Carrot Principle. How the best managers use recognition to engage their people, retain talent, and accelerate performance. Updated and revised. Adrian Gostick and Chester Elton. Free Press, 2009. The Ultimate Question 2.0, revised and expanded edition. How Net Promoter Companies Thrive in a Customer-Driven World. Fred Reichheld and Rob Markey. Harvard Business Review Press, 2011. The Zappos Experience. 5 Principles to Inspire, Engage, and Wow. Joseph A. Michelli. McGraw-Hill, 2011. Tribal Leadership. Leveraging Natural Groups to Build a Thriving Organization. Dave Logan, John King, and Haley Fisher Wright. Harper Business, 2011. Tribes, We Need You to Lead Us. Seth Godin, Portfolio Hardcover, 2008. Who? A Method for Hiring. Jeff Smart and Randy Street. Ballantine Books, 2008.